Hello everyone, this is Devin once again. Hopefully you remember the last video with Alan because we will be using those skills to begin modeling a basic chassis with the Vex part library. If you're not comfortable with those skills, don't worry, we'll go slowly through this video. Today we will create the basic structure of the chassis using C-channels and standoffs. In this video, we will be preparing a simple H-shaped structure for a directly driven tank drive. If you are more comfortable with CAD, you can model your own design. For your reference, the chassis structure that we will be making is currently on screen. You can refer back to this image to check your work later. On screen right now is a list of timestamps of this video indicating when I go over a certain topic. For your first time watching, please do not skip ahead. There is important information that I want you to know. If you are tempted to skip because you are further ahead or more experienced with CAD, please still watch the video. I have included pauses with reminders in the video for you to do the CAD without my assistance. If this is still too easy for you, still watch the video, but you can model your own chassis using similar parts I've introduced if you wish. If you are re-watching this video and want to go to a certain part for help, feel free to go to this timestamps listed on screen right now. Okay, so now that we're ready, we are going to start CADing our chassis. So the first thing we need to do is open up an assembly file. If you remember how to do this from the last video, pause right here and open a new assembly. If you don't remember, that's okay, we will go over it again. And I will briefly pause so you can pause the video and do it for yourself if you wish. Okay, now that you're back, we will first press the new button in the top left corner. Once you do that, just double click it and a create new file menu should appear. You'll notice that in the very middle there's a button with the word standard.iam. We simply want to click it and press create. If you get this error with the style conflict, just press OK. It is not important. And if you don't get this error, then everything is fine. And once you press OK, you should have a blank assembly file just like this. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is we are going to place down our base C channel. Just like in the last video, we will navigate the part library to find the part we need. For this chassis, we will be looking for a 25-hole long and 5-hole wide aluminum C channel. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to navigate to the place button in the top left corner. Simply press it and the place component menu should appear. Once this appears, you simply have to just find it in the Vex part library. So since the aluminum C channel is a structural part, we will look over Devin Ho's part library. First, just double click the folder, and then because it is structure, we will scroll down and then double click structure. And because we want a 5-hole wide C channel, we will navigate to the aluminum 5-wide C channels folder. We will double click that. And as I said before, we want a 25 long C channel. So we will scroll down until we find the 1 by 5 by 1 by 25 aluminum C channel. These numbers just represent how wide each of the parts on the C channel are. If you remember what a C channel looks like, there's two little edges that are bent down. Those are 1 hole wide, thus the 1 by 5 by 1. So once you find the C channel, simply click it and then press open. And when you open, you will see that the C channel should follow your mouse. It doesn't matter where you place it, so when it opens up, just click on the screen. And you will notice that the aluminum C channel still follows your mouse. That means that you are still placing the component. Since we only want one, we will now press escape. And there you have it. We have our first C channel in our assembly. So if you look at the C channel right now, this is clearly not in the orientation that it was in the chassis. So what we need to do is we will need to rotate this by exactly 90 degrees. We have not showed you how to use a tool that will rotate it exactly 90 degrees. So I will show you that right now. So the first thing that we want to do is we need to navigate to the grid snap tool. Essentially, this is a tool that will allow you to move or rotate things at set increments instead of using the free move or free rotate tools that you learned in the previous videos. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to navigate all the way to the top left to this little tab that says position that is under the free move and free rotate buttons. Simply press the tab and you will see the grid snap button. Once you find the grid snap button, simply click it once, and now a little plus sign should appear right next to your mouse. We want to select an axis that we will be using to rotate the C channel around. Imagine this axis as like a hinge on a door. If you look at a door and its hinge, you will notice that it'll rotate around that hinge. This axis that we are going to select will act as the hinge on the C channel. So because we want to rotate this 90 degrees, so the flat top side of the C channel is facing down, we want to click this axis or this edge so it'll rotate around this edge. When the axis that you want to select is red, simply click it and a new set of buttons should appear. Each of these buttons, if you scroll over it, will describe what it does. However, we want to rotate it. So we will navigate to the rotate about line button, which is the fourth one to the left, and we will simply click it. If you move your mouse right now, you will notice that the C channel does indeed rotate around the line that we selected, just like a door hinge. If it does not rotate around this line, it probably means that you selected the wrong line, and you should press escape and go back and try this again. You'll also notice that if you look closely at the blue highlighted text, the angle increases or decreases by 5 degrees. Because they're at set increments, this is considered a grid snap because we have a grid of 5 degrees increments. So we could carefully maneuver our mouse until it says 90 degrees. However, we do not need to do that. Because it's highlighted, it means that we are editing this text, meaning we can input text. So what we are going to do is, while that's highlighted, just as is right now, we are going to type in 90, representing 90 degrees. Once that's typed, we will press enter. And it looks like we're fine, but we still have that little plus sign right next to the mouse. This means we are still in grid snap mode. We don't want to press escape because that will delete all the things we've just done. So what we want to do is we want to right click your mouse and a little menu should appear with cancel or OK. Because we want to confirm this, we will press OK. And now we have a C channel that is rotated in the correct orientation. So if you remember from last video, we need to do something with the very first part that we insert in an assembly. If you don't remember, you can just continue watching the video, but if you do remember what I am talking about, I will quickly stop so you can pause the video and do it for yourself. Okay, so if you didn't remember, we will be grounding the part. So what we're going to do is we are simply going to move our mouse over the part, then we will right click, and then this menu should appear. We will go all the way down towards the bottom middle, and then press grounded. Once it's grounded, if you look in the very left hand column, you will notice there's a little pin on top of the part now. That means it is grounded, which is good. Okay, with our first part done, we will now add 2 new C channels to act as one side of the chassis. This time, we want a 2-hole wide and 35-hole long C channel. If you are comfortable with navigating the part library and placing a part, you can pause and find the part for yourself. Okay, so since we've already gone over this, I will go slightly faster this time. So the first thing we want to do is we want to navigate to the top left corner and press place. We will already be in the 5 wide C channel folder, but we want to go above back to the structures folder. So what we will do to navigate to the folder above is click this little folder with a green arrow going up 1 level, or out of this folder. Simply click it once, and we are back in the structures folder. And because we want a 2 wide C channel, we will hover over the aluminum 2 wide C channels folder and double click it. And because we want a 35 long C channel, we will scroll down until we find the 35 long C channel. We will click the C channel and then press open. Once we have it open, there will be the transparent C channel following your mouse. So we will click somewhere off to the side on our screen, click once to place it down, and then move our mouse a little bit to see the transparent C channel again. And because we want to, instead of going back and opening a new one, we will simply press click again, and then because we are done and have 2, we will simply press escape. And now we have the C channels that we need to make our chassis. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is we are just going to drag the C channels around just to make it easier for us to see everything. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to position our camera so we can see the right side of the 5 wide C channel. We can already see the right side, but I want to focus on it. So the first thing I am going to do is hover my mouse over the right side of the screen. If this little bar is not appearing and it's hidden, you'll just have to hover to the right side and click it, like I did. And then you will see that there is this little hand tool called pan. We will click it, drag off to the middle of the screen, click and hold, and then just drag the screen to the left. And then once we're done, we are going to press escape. And after this, we want to move the C channels to a location that we'll be able to see it. Because the C channels will be attached to the primary 5 wide C channel in the exact middle, we will drag this C channel by clicking, holding the click, and dragging it until we can see the center of the C channel, which is right here where my mouse is. So when this center of the C channel is close to the edge of the 5 wide, we've prepared our camera and we are now ready to constrain. We will be using the insert tool to connect the holes on the C channel. We want the C shape on the 2 wide C channel to be facing inwards for the chassis. In its current rotation, it does not look like we will be able to connect them correctly because they are both parallel when we want them perpendicular. You might think that we want to rotate the C channel before doing any constraints. However, rotating the C channel either with grid snap or free rotate is very time consuming. Instead, we will constrain one hole first, then rotate the part to constrain the second hole. From the last video, we will select the constrain tool in the top left corner. In the menu that appears, select insert, which is the fourth icon from the left that says insert. Once you hover over it, just simply click it. So the next thing we are going to do is we need to connect these C channels. If you zoom into the C channels, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to position my mouse between the two C channels and then use the scroll wheel to zoom in. If you look very closely on the C channels, you will notice that there are these little faint transparent orange cylinders inside the C channel. These are called work features. These are basically imaginary shapes that I've attached to the C channels to make it easier for you to work on the C channels. Basically, instead of having to do a bunch of mates on the flat edges, we are now able to do just one insert. So what we're going to do is we want to connect this hole with this hole. If you don't remember which hole is the center, just simply zoom out and take a note of the hole that we want to select. This is the 16th hole from the edge. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And once you find that hole, just zoom in again while still keeping the other side of the 5 wide C channel. And because we want this top of the C channel to be connected to the underside of the 5 wide, we will have to select the top part of the cylinder. I will zoom in even more, and if you see, there's the bottom side of the cylinder where the arrow faces down and the top side of the cylinder where the arrow faces up. We want to do the one where the arrow faces up, because this indicates that this is the top surface of what we're looking at. Once we select that, we will have to zoom out again, and then what we need to do is we need to connect it to the 5 wide. So you might not understand why I'm going to make this next insert, like how did I manage to figure this out, but I will explain it later. Just follow along with what I am clicking for now. So we want to connect it to the bottom side of this area that I am circling with my mouse right now. So what we are going to do in a similar vein is zoom into the hole. You might not see the entire hole, but as long as you see a part of it, you will see that there's the top and bottom. Because we want the smaller C channel to be on the underside of this one, we will select the bottom ring. You will notice that the C channel moves and connects. Once that's done, press OK. And then what you can do is you can just zoom out of this location, and you will find that the C channels are connected. So sorry for the random clip, but this will be the end of the first part of this lesson. I just needed to cut it down so it's not too long. So we will end it off by simply saving our assembly. If you don't remember how to save an assembly, you just navigate to the top left corner to the little save button. You click it once, and then make sure that you are in your project folder, but outside of the part library, and you can name your chassis whatever you want. I'll just name mine chassis tutorial. I already have a chassis tutorial, so I'll just call this chassis tutorial 2. and then press save. And then once you're saved, we are done. So thank you for watching this video. We will continue with part 2 right where we are right now.